Imagine a world leader, not just visiting a foreign land, but being welcomed as if stepping into the pages of an ancient royal epic. We're talking fighter jet escorts painting the skies, palaces so drenched in gold they seem to shimmer, and deals worth not just millions, but billions, sealed with handshakes that could reshape alliances. Sounds like a Hollywood blockbuster, right? But this was reality. Today, we pull back the velvet curtain on one of the most jaw-dropping displays of diplomatic pageantry in modern memory: Donald Trump's unforgettable, almost kingly reception. In the Middle East, you're not going to want to miss a single detail. Welcome back to the channel. Before we dive into this incredible story of power, politics, and sheer opulence, if you're fascinated by the forces that shape our world, make sure you've liked this video and subscribed. We've got so much more to explore together. Our story begins on May 13, 2025. Air Force One, under the fierce Middle Eastern sun, descends into Riyadh. But this was no ordinary arrival. Imagine this: 4 Saudi F-15 fighter jets slicing through the air in perfect diamond formation to personally escort the president's plane. And forget the standard red carpet. Instead, a magnificent lavender carpet unfurled beneath Trump's feet, a vibrant hue symbolizing Saudi Arabia's national identity. Its desert flowers blooming in spring, a profound gesture of cultural pride. The world was watching, and the message was unmistakable. This wasn't just politics. It felt like a coronation. Waiting on that lavender expanse was Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman himself, extending a traditional Arabic coffee served from a gleaming golden dalla. From there, a royal motorcade of sleek black Bentleys glided through Riyadh. Destination: Al Yamama Palace. Picture grand halls lit by the sparkle of crystal chandeliers, where Trump and MBS sat, almost throne to throne, in what many observers called a modern-day imperial summit. And the centerpiece of this visit, a staggering $600 billion mega deal. Think about that number. This included the largest defense contract in U.S. history: $142 billion in cutting-edge weapons and technology from giants like Lockheed, Martin, and Boeing. But the opulence of opportunity didn't stop there. Saudi Aramco committed $50 billion for energy projects back in the U.S., while the Public Investment Fund pledged another $100 billion to American tech and infrastructure. Trump, never one for understatement, boldly declared the total value could rocket to $1 trillion, potentially igniting 2 million American jobs. And, as a crowning touch, Trump received Saudi Arabia's highest civilian honor, the King Abdulaziz Al Saud Medal. In every conceivable way, he wasn't just a visiting president. He was treated like royalty. After the unparalleled grandeur of Riyadh, Air Force One set course for Doha, Qatar, and the spectacle. It didn't even pause for breath. As the presidential plane touched down at Hamad International Airport, the atmosphere was absolutely electric. There, at the end of the red carpet, stood Amir Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, dressed in full traditional regalia. His handshake with Trump, under the flash of countless international cameras, was a reception few world leaders ever experience. But beyond the powerful symbolism, the sheer scale of economic partnership was breathtaking. Qatar Airways inked one of the largest aerospace deals ever, a contract to purchase 160 Boeing aircraft, including the futuristic 777X and 787 Dreamliner models. The price tag, a mind-blowing $96 billion, projected to create over 150,000 jobs across U.S. manufacturing hubs, from Washington State to South Carolina. Then came a moment that sent shockwaves through Washington. In a truly dramatic gesture, the Amir of Qatar gifted Donald Trump a customized Boeing 747, valued at $400 million, fully kitted out as a luxury flying palace. Trump, with his signature bravado, declared only a fool would say no. Back home, however, critics immediately raised red flags, citing the U.S. Constitution's Emoluments Clause, which prohibits presidents from accepting such lavish gifts from foreign states without congressional approval. The White House defended the move, arguing that accepting the aircraft would ultimately save taxpayers' money. Inside the majestic Amir Dewan Palace, the two leaders shared a private tea ceremony discussing the delicate dance of peace in the Middle East, relations with Iran, and Qatar's emerging role as a diplomatic bridge in complex regional conflicts. For Trump, this visit was clearly more than just business. It was about projecting American strength through alliances literally wrapped in gold. From the glowing towers of Doha, Trump's Middle East tour soared to its most ambitious stage yet, Abu Dhabi. On May 15, 2025, Air Force One glided into Abu Dhabi International Airport, this time escorted by a stunning formation of 6 Mirage 2002-9 fighter jets, a clear signal of both profound hospitality and formidable military might. On the runway stood President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the visionary architect behind the UAE's meteoric rise as a global tech and finance hub. As Trump disembarked, he was met not just with handshakes, but with a vibrant immersion in culture. A breathtaking performance of the traditional Aliyala sword dance unfolded before his eyes. Dozens of men in pristine white robes, women in flowing traditional dresses, all moving in perfect ancient harmony. It was a stunning display of the UAE's unique tapestry, weaving together rich heritage and bold modern pride. Trump, visibly impressed, smiled and remarked, "This city is beautiful. I love this place." Later that evening, within the opulent walls of Qasr Al Watan Palace, beneath golden domes and intricately carved marble archways, Trump and Sheikh Mohammed sat down for discussions. Then came the announcement that reportedly stunned even Trump's closest advisors. The UAE pledged an almost unimaginable $1.4 trillion investment in the United States over the next decade. The crown jewel of this commitment was $500 billion towards the Stargate Project, a colossal artificial intelligence mega-infrastructure initiative, partnering with global titans like SoftBank, OpenAI, Oracle, and Z Corporation. But the Emirates weren't finished. They also allocated $60 billion to liquefied natural gas production in Texas and signed a $14.5 billion aviation deal for more Boeing 787 and 777X aircraft. Trump lauded the Emiratis as bold visionaries, while also taking a moment to critique current U.S. policy limiting AI chip exports, declaring, "Why deny our allies the tools they need when they buy our F-35s?" A statement that drew applause from both delegations. With every signature, with every handshake, Trump's image as a global power broker, capable of commanding immense financial commitments, grew stronger. Now, let's circle back to Saudi Arabia for a moment, because as Trump prepared to leave, a moment unfolded that would be etched in diplomatic memory, not for its extravagance, but for its profound symbolism. Remember that lavender carpet? When Trump first arrived in Riyadh, many noted its unusual, beautiful hue. To most, a striking visual. But to Saudi Arabia, it meant so much more in 2021. The kingdom had officially replaced the traditional red with lavender for all state-level ceremonies. This wasn't just a color change, it was a deeply meaningful rebranding of national identity, rooted in tradition and natural symbolism. Lavender is the color of the delicate wildflowers that carpet the Saudi deserts each spring, representing resilience, generosity, and strength, values at the very heart of the Saudi spirit. The border of that specific carpet, hand-woven by Bedouin women using ancient Sadu techniques passed down through generations, a craft now recognized by UNESCO as intangible cultural heritage. This detail wasn't merely decorative, it was profoundly strategic. By rolling out the lavender carpet for Donald Trump, Saudi Arabia was extending its highest form of respect. In Arab culture, such a gesture signifies more than just hospitality. It whispers, "You are family." And on Trump's departure day, that silent message was powerfully reinforced. As he ascended the stairs to Air Force One, he paused, turned, and raised his right fist towards Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Without a moment's hesitation, the prince responded by placing his right hand over his heart, a deeply ingrained Arab tradition signifying honor, friendship, and heartfelt respect. No words were exchanged, but the silence spoke volumes. It was a farewell layered with meaning, a nod to shared power, mutual esteem, and a future of continued cooperation. As Trump waved and disappeared into the aircraft, the crowd stood still, capturing a moment that felt less like a political stop and more like the poignant end of a royal state visit. With the lavender carpet beneath and the desert sun above, Donald Trump didn't just visit Saudi Arabia. He became, for that moment, woven into its royal narrative. Donald Trump's whirlwind tour through Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates wasn't just a dazzling display of pageantry. It was a bold, almost audacious redefinition of America's role in the Middle East. Instead of leading primarily with military might, Trump wielded the immense power of economic influence and strategic partnerships, reshaping the diplomatic landscape in real time. In just a few remarkable days, Trump secured over $3.2 trillion in deals, spanning everything from defense and clean energy to artificial intelligence and infrastructure. But these agreements did more than just bring business back to the U.S. They subtly realigned global alliances, redirecting vast flows of capital and technology potentially away from competitors like China and back towards the United States, all while reinforcing America's presence without necessarily expanding its military footprint. At the core of this seismic shift was a calculated pivot. Trump's administration steered away from decades of what some saw as costly interventionism, moving instead towards a model of mutually beneficial economic diplomacy. Massive defense contracts aimed to ensure regional security. AI megaprojects promised a shared stake in future innovation. Energy deals sought to empower America's heartland with jobs and investment. And for a moment, the narrative of the Middle East shifted from a region often defined by conflict to a hub of futuristic growth. Spearheaded by bold leaders and incredibly deep-pocketed partners, perhaps the most symbolic moment of all wasn't at a signing table or a state banquet, but on that sun-drenched runway. When Trump turned to raise his fist and Mohammed bin Salman responded with his hand over his heart, it broadcasts a message to the entire world. This new understanding was not just policy. It was personal, it was powerful, and it was intended to be permanent. This journey was undeniably monumental. But what does it all truly mean? Was this a masterstroke of economic diplomacy? A turning point for U.S. influence in the Middle East? Or was it, perhaps, a dazzling display of political theater, played out in a royal disguise? And looking forward, should future administrations focus more on this kind of economic statecraft, or return to more traditional military and diplomatic strategies? We'd love to hear your thoughts and perspectives in the comments below. What stood out to you the most from this extraordinary tour? If this story sparked something in you, if it made you think, and if you appreciate content that delves deep and truly connects, don't forget to give this video a like, share it with someone who'd find it fascinating, and subscribe for more. We have so many more stories to tell. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.